Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. I didn't read on Monday. Well, I did, but uh, I was behind on the last week, so now I'm starting this week a little bit delayed, but we'll just read twice today. You know the drill. Oh shoot, I just realized the mic might have been scuffed right there, but that's just because I put the mic down sideways sometimes so I can see my screen better for when I'm playing games by myself. That's my bad. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad right there. If it is, I'll have to redo it. But yeah. Okay, so I'm getting confused. So Abram has a wife named Sarai, okay? So Abram's the husband, Sarai's the wife. They couldn't have kids because Sarai couldn't give birth. So they had a female Egyptian servant named Hagar. And Sarai told Abram that the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Go in my servant, and then through her I may be able to attain children. And Abram listened. So and then Abram came into Hagar, the servant, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, she looked with contempt on her mistress. She got with that contempt on Sarai. And Sarai said, "May the wrong be." Sarai said to Abram, "May the wrong done to me be on you." Dang. I gave my servant to your embrace, and when she saw that she had conceived, she looked on me with contempt. What this storyline is kind of dumb. Obviously, it's real, but then Sarah got mad at Abram for because the servant looked at her with contempt. And then they just like banished the freaking servant or whatever. But then the Lord found Hagar, and the angel the angel of the Lord, not the Lord. And he asked Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going? She said, I'm fleeing from my mistress Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit to her. I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, behold, you are pregnant, and you shall bear a son. His name will be Ishmael. Because the Lord has listened to your affliction, he shall be a wild donkey of a man, his hand against everyone, and everyone's hand against him. And he shall dwell over against all his kinsmen. That didn't make any sense to me. I don't know, maybe I read it as best of my ability. That didn't make no sense. Okay, so basically I'm at the part where God's bestowing blessings and covenants, I think the word is, with Abram and his wife Sarai, or Sarah, however one you call her. He changed her name. And she's like 90, and God's telling her, like, I'm gonna make it so you can have a kid. And she kind of laughs. She's like, there's no way at this age I'm really gonna have a kid. And then God's like, what did he say? Hold on, let me find it. I want to quote the exact thing that he said. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you about this time next year, and Sarah shall have a son. And dude, nothing's too hard for the Lord. He can do anything. He's the Almighty. He's the All Father. I mean, let's go. Okay, now this is another cool part. So he's talking about the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is very grave. I will go down there to see what they have done to get all together. And he's basically saying, like, I'm gonna punch them. I think that's what he's saying. I'm taking it that way, based off the next conversation. And then Abram talks to the Lord. Abram talks to the Lord and is like, will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you sweep the place away and not spare it for the 50 who are in it? And God says, and this is not a quote, but he says, if he finds 50 righteous in the city, I'll spare the whole place for them. But anyway, so I don't know. And then Abram's like, okay, but what if the 5 of the 50 are lacking? Will you destroy the whole city for the lack of 5? And then Jesus says, I will not destroy it if I find 45 there. And then Abram says, the Lord says, for the sake of 40, I will not do it. 5 teens, come on, bro. Really? Suppose 30 are found there. Okay, at least he went down by 10 this time. And then finally, like I skipped a couple for sure, but then Abram asks, what if there's only 10? And the Lord says, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. And the Lord went his way when he had finished speaking to Abram, and Abram returned to his place. And good outweighs evil, chat. No matter how evil and sinful a town is, It can be redeemed through the righteous of 10 or 5 or 1. But yeah. Uh, next reading. That's it for today. Yeah. Ah. Oh shoot! I'm still recording. This story is just so genuinely odd. Okay, so Lot went up out of Zoar and lived in the hills with his 2 daughters. For he was afraid to live in Zoar. Oh, he went up out of Zoar, and he was afraid to live in Zoar, so he lived in a cave with his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said to the younger, our father is old, and there's not a man on earth to come into us after the manner of all the earth. I think they're talking about because their city was just burned because of sin or something like that. Like I was talking about earlier. And they said, our father is old. Oh, and they said, come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve offspring from our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went and oh my gosh, I can't read, but it's actually making me angry. Went in and lay with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she arose. The next day the firstborn said to the younger, behold, I lay last night for my father. Let us make him drink wine tonight also. Then you go in and lay with him, that we may preserve offspring from our father. So they made them drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And then thus both the daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. Yeah, and they had kids. And I wonder, like, bro, like, what, like, that's genuinely disgusting. Like, why'd they pop it? Like, they just popped it, like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, there's no dead man, so we might as well have sex with our intercourse with our father. I mean, the dots connect. Makes sense. Like, they just didn't have any moral about it. It's so genuinely disgusting. No, so feel like this is one of the more debated topics. I know I've already talked about this once, but I mean, I'm not sure what else to talk about in my second run through besides stuff I've already talked about. So I mean, we're gonna circle back. Okay, so a big thing is sinning still sinning if you didn't know you were sinning, or if like your moral intentions weren't to sin, but you accidentally do it in the process, kind of. Like in this situation, Abraham said of his wife, "She is my sister." And king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. So Abraham said Sarah is his wife. And Abimelech, or how you say it, I'm just gonna say the king, took Sarah. And the king, and then God came to the king in a dream at night and said to him, behold, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. Now the king had not approached her. So he said, Lord, will you kill an innocent man? Did he himself not say to me, she is my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands, I have done this. And God said to him in the dream, yes, I know that you have done this in integrity of your heart, and it was I who kept you from sinning. Therefore, I did not let you touch her. Now then, return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, so that he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not return her, know that you surely will die, and all who are yours. So he was lied to and didn't know. So all right, and then in the next part, Genesis 21, God goes to Sarah and he makes it so she conceives a child named Isaac, my name. Oh my gosh, what am I doing, bro? But yeah, imagine. But Abraham was 100 when this happened. So imagine being 100 years old and like having a kid. That's insane. Okay, so I've talked about this part of the Bible before, and I kind of found a new meaning in reading it the second time. So the first time, I still thought it was wrong, and I didn't really like it. And the part I'm talking about right now is Abraham offering up his son Isaac to God, and God asking him to. And I was like, that's messed up. But when you really think about it, because God says, now that I know that you fear God and that you were willing to offer up your son to me. And I mean, God did the same thing. He gave up his son for us. So I still don't know if I could personally do that, but I kind of have a new meaning. Like it kind of makes more sense now to me.